perspectives, etc. So I had a good time doing it that way. Let's see if this YouTube stream works. Etc. So I had a good time doing it that way. Yeah, third time is a charm, I guess. Apparently, I don't know what the hell was going on with that. So that was good. The presentation, for those of you just jumping on the live, YouTube's being screwy and had on. First it was private, then it was on the wrong channel, and now finally we're on the right channel. So that's where we're at. And I was just telling a story about my trip to Phoenix this weekend. Throughout the course of that, I got to have a honest conversation with Ted Kabitis. And you follow me, I bust his chops a lot about updates and Cora, and Cora 7.2 crashes every time I try to use the damn thing. 7.4 crashes, but at least unlike 7.2, when I open it, it'll do a run, and then it'll crash. Versus 7.2, once it starts crashing, it's just useless. So I'm giving him shit. I was like, do the updates, put the updates out. And so with that, he says that 7.5 will be out. He said he was doing the installers this weekend. Honestly, he's doing a presentation at Phoenix, and then he was going to do another presentation at that Mastermind in Hell thing. I didn't attend that. And then travel home the next day, and then probably spend Father's Day with his kids. And then today's Juneteenth, the kids are going to be home, so I don't expect it. I really don't expect it this week. It would be nice because I would want to get. I have staff that are waiting for that software to be released. I have plans for the course updates to be redone. I mean, so there's a lot going on there. If anything, it's a good warning sign to people if you're trying to build businesses and you want to do business models that are based on other people's things. You're at the whim of that other person's thing, right? For example, was that Matthew Zimmerman or whatever? Is that the guy? He owns ZimWriter. He's got ZimWriter and he has courses, but he was also involved with Phrase, if I'm not mistaken, and he was doing courses and stuff with Phrase, which is all good and dandy. But what happens if Phrase, goes under or sells or changes their UIs entirely or whatever? And then he's out with all this hard work in this course that he did. Okay, for list building, pain in the ass if you're trying to build a recurring business model that stands the test of time. One of these days I'll get into SaaS on my own. I don't ever expect to create something as robust as Cora. But at this point, I mean, with Cora and the outlook for Cora, I don't think it's going anywhere, right? But one would be wise to have an alternative on-page analysis tool, I would think. So I use Page Optimizer Pro. I have Cora. I'll probably go and test open on-page AI again, since he's had more time to develop that out. When I tested it, it was underserving of what I thought it was. But it was new, right? So it's not a bash on that tool. It's just at that time it wasn't ready for me. So it wasn't as built out to meet my needs. How's that say? That's better than it wasn't ready for me. All right, so Q&A today. Let's get rocking on that. Let's see. Nairobi. Hello. Euromaster. Hello. Jeff Meekin. Let's see what Jeff got. Do you always build PBN links to tier 2 sites, or do you have PBN links pointing straight to the money site? Depends on the PBN links. If it's my own network, I know it and I trust it. And, I'm not out there abusing it and putting out, 3,000 different topics and, that kind of stuff. Not to say that 3,000 different topics is wrong. It's just you should have the site set up in a specific way, in my opinion, if you're going to do that. But that said, I generally, if I like an SEO Nitro, I have no problem pointing that at my money sites. The safe way with Nitro would actually be to point it at your tier 1. So use it as tier 2. Just because a lot of you may or may not have access to the actual reports and stuff, and you can't double check the domains and etc. And I have had access to that as a trusted user, and I share that her team, right? So her team works with me, and I say, hey, so I get to kind of the insider ding on that, right? So I got to look at the domains and stuff, and are they perfect 100% like golden domains? No, not by any means, but they're good for the purposes of what we're looking for. And I've given her some ideas and stuff that she's has implemented or is thinking about implementing to boost the power of those domains for everybody. Which would be good too, especially if you're a user of SEO Nitro, if they figure out how to get all that implemented. One of those is boosting of those backlinks on their own. So you buy SEO Nitro, you get 300 credits, you put your 300 backlinks, and then in that they have a system in place to boost those backlinks up. And make them more valuable to you, which at the end of the day is just good for you. Especially if you're not doing that yourself, because 0 + 0 = 0, whether you're getting a guest post or using your own PBN or buying from somebody else's PBN. If they don't link to your links, then that's 0, right? So I think it's in that regard, Jeff, it's totally all about trusting the seller. Get me links. I would probably point straight to some random person that hit me up on Facebook or LinkedIn for guest posts. I would use those probably for tier 2s. Black Hat World gigs, I would do tier 2s. Nitro tier 1s. Yeah, and Grindstone, his backlinks when he's busy, so don't bother him anymore. but when his backlinks those are tier 1s. So it's the seller and the trust that you have in that seller, Jeff. Let's see, Boris. Oh, MBD, how you doing, man? Boris, hi. Is redirecting expired domain to the sitemap? Is redirecting an expired domain to the sitemap of another site domain works? No, I wouldn't do that. The idea behind redirecting an expired domain to someone else's site is so you can build a topical trust for that domain. Let's think about it this way, Boris. You buy a brand new, or even just buy an expired domain, and it's got really good metrics, but it's about car racing, and your site is about roofing. The topic is off. So what you can do in this idea is, before you send this car racing website to your roofing website, you can start linking. You redirect it to a authority page. Typically, I use Wikipedia about that topic. So the roofing entity, for example, you would link it to there. Hold on a second. There you go. So you would link it to there, and then you would start building backlinks and anchors to it, and then you would watch the majestic trust flow, topical trust flow, and make sure that it switches to the new category. And I think that's like it's home services or whatever the hell it is over there. And then once it switches, then you could take it off of the Wikipedia page and put it at your roofing page. And it's essentially a way to, air quotes, clean expired domains out and change the topic authority of it. And it's, you know, if you're redirecting an expired domain, you're typically only doing it for a couple of backlinks, not like this whole monstrous backlink profile, because those monstrous backlink profiles are really expensive. And if it's monstrous and it's really good, and then why not do like Craig Campbell does and buy those and then turn it into an affiliate site and then flip the site. So yeah, that's what I just described to you with the Wikipedia thing, Boris, is that's what you can do. Is it necessary that you do it? I mean, if you're only buying that expired for, you know, like 10, 15 backlinks, depending on the anchor text, I wouldn't worry about it. Can you use, this is from Nairobi, can you use significant links and schema to point to the money site using third-party sites such as guest poster? Oh, yes, definitely. That's it's a good way to do it. What I want to test is actually doing niche edits. So hear me out. You do I don't know, like a search, and you find 20, 30 blog posts that you think are awesome. And rather than telling the rather than telling the rather than going, hey, I want to buy a backlink from you, can you put it in this article, which everyone's heard, and there's absolutely all it really is you're going to either get it or they're not going to answer you. You can put a spin in on it and write a topical relevant schema and use significant link inside of that pointing to you and be like, hey, I saw you did this great article. I'm a professional. I do schema. And I wrote this schema for you. And I think it will help your page rank better. I'm not asking for anything in return. If it works or if it doesn't, if it works, awesome. You don't even have to thank me or anything. I'm not looking for that. I just, just trying to help people out and be able to say and follow the improvements of my work. And this is free for you. And then see how that works out. And if those of you that don't know what the significant schema is that everybody's talking about, I did a video. It's recorded. I didn't do a live presentation talking about it. Significant link and significant links. There's two different schemas there. And yeah, if you have access or the ability to add to the schema, add schema to your pages that you get PBNs or guest posts on, then by all means, knock it out. Clint, how do you determine keyword difficulty? Honestly, the only, I don't really put much stock into it. And here's why: is the niches that I'm in, inherently I know they're going to be hard, right? And then there's other niches where I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. And even the keyword difficulty goes, oh, it's going to be easy. Like score of 47 keyword difficulty versus 7. Like I'm going to go into a 7. It's going to be easy as hell. And we've dropped like $10,000 in backlinks and optimized the pages end to no end, and we can't get past number 6. So that keyword difficulty score is really subjective, in my opinion. And because it's so subjective based on the tool, you really use it as a filter than you use it as a definer. And when I say filter, like you're doing, so you have, I don't know, you're one of those ding dongs that, oh, you got 50,000 keywords for my keyword research. I mean, you're not going to rank for all those anyway, but okay, whatever, ding dong. You got to filter that stuff out, right? So you can use a keyword difficulty score to go, all right, I know that Ahrefs keyword difficulty score, when it says this to me, it means this. And I pick a range that's, above X and below Y. And those are the keywords I want to look at. And now I can take that and go, all right, so I have my keyword difficulty score. Let's look at search volume. It's got to be above 1,000, or I don't care about it. I'm not going to make a pillar page, most important page, money page, right? I'm not going to make a pillar page for that. If it's below 1,000, I get it. If it's going to be a pillar page, if I'm going to spend $450 on an article for it, it's got to get traffic. I have to have this reasonable belief it's going to get a lot of traffic. So I do the filter that again, the pillar page. Now I have this set of keywords based off of keyword difficulty and search volume to go through and look at and actually see what Google says the user intent is. And a lot of people miss this step. They're like, oh, if I say Christmas lights, then Google clearly must be selling them, right? But if you go to like a Christmas lights installation, for example, you actually go and do a Google search, you might see Christmas lights installation videos versus Christmas lights installation service. And if you're doing installation service, you're kind of dinked out because Google thinks the user intent for that keyword, the answer to that question is, how do I install Christmas lights? And so they give you those, videos and instructions. It's informational. So you have to do that with your keywords at the same time. You got to go look in there and go, if I'm doing services and it's only showing products, I have a problem. If I'm doing products and it only has services, I have a problem. If I'm doing services and everyone else is doing form fills and I'm doing phone number, I might have a problem because they may or may not have some insight into the conversion point. Like what are people doing the most, right? So that's that third step of keyword research. And then the fourth would be to make your silo, or if you want to use the fancy term today, is the topical map. Create your topical map of your website based off of those money keywords. And then you can build out your sub pages. You going rolling back, and everything under 1,000. Those, in theory, anything under 1,000 with search volume should be relatively easy to rank for. And then you can generate traffic from sprinkles in those sub 1,000 pages, building your silo up and your relevance to your money pages. That's getting a lot of traffic. That's in that process. So that's how I think about those and what silos are and etc. That was a lot. Jeez. Shorts. We got yours. All right. Boris. Okay. Boris. I got a client that wants me to rank an English site in Bulgaria because the target market search in English. But in English, the competition is quite difficult. It's possible to make the site only in Bulgaria. Yeah, you can go into Search Console. Don't ask me where the hell it is anymore, but there's a thing in there where you can set that the target is only Bulgaria. And that's your target market. And then you could also do hrefs, English, Bulgaria. I don't know if that would actually work, but at least you can set the target location in Bulgaria in your Search Console. And then I would try to get a whole bunch of Bulgarian websites to link to you. So you can pin down that you're in Bulgaria. Other people can pin down for you in Bulgaria. And then what I would do is I would actually put silo content. I would write it in Bulgarian. Is that the language in Bulgaria? Let's see. What is the language in Bulgaria? Bulgarian. Duh. Anyway, so I would write some geo modifying pages, essentially, things to do in Bulgaria and Bulgarian cities and all that stuff. And I would put all of that in Bulgarian um, to increase the relevancy for Bulgaria for you. And that'll combine and help that and all that. Make sense? Let's see. Jeremy. More of a UX issue with SEO implications, but trying to figure out why Safari does not display Instagram embeds is a user issue or Safari issue. Safari is there's a lot of new privacy things, etc., and built into Safari. Like think multi-app or ghost browser or whatever, and Safari is kind of trying to take that shit to the next level. So you may have run into an issue with that. Like it could be something turned on with yours or just legit Safari, the default turning that off. I've never heard anyone complain about it, but in my assumption, with the new updates and how they're rolling out Safari and how they're tightening more privacy down. I mean, the next version, they're not even going to allow, they're going to strip parameters out of URLs by default. So if you open a parameter that's a URL that has a parameter on it, to think affiliate, it has affiliate codes or tracking codes or UTM codes or whatever, it's going to rip it. It's going to strip that off of the URLs. So it's getting that browser is getting more and more secure. So I would look at the embed code and see if you're seeing the beginnings of that, like in the code and the URL, see if there's parameters attached. And if there's parameters attached, it might be stripping those out already, which could be an issue why you're not seeing the Instagram embeds. But that's pure conjecture. I'm not a big Instagram user, so I haven't done a lot of embed stuff. So I haven't really, but that instinct is knowing what's going on with Safari. That would be where I look, Jeremy. Yeah, Boris. Yeah, I understand completely what you mean. You want to put an English site in Bulgarian search. So search, and if you said the market is primarily English, go to Google Bulgaria. What is it? What is Google's Bulgaria? Let's see. Google.bg. Just do your keyword. Let's do testing snacks for students. And in here it's English. But you got to go to, but my browser is set to English. So you got to go and do that same thing in yours and see if it's legit. People are in that market are looking in English. And then once you have that information, then you should be able to rank. Just like I said, Boris, go back and follow the steps. English pages, do some Bulgarian pages to build some relevancy, and there you go. Forgetting AI, where do you see the next update for Google targeting? It is, they're going to continue to go after. AI is actually giving Google a great opportunity to continue on their war against affiliates. And I say war against affiliates because if affiliates are advertising in the Google search results for free and ranking and getting a lot of conversions, then product owners are less likely to buy ad space. So what they are doing, if you have noticed, is a lot of 800-pound gorillas, newspaper websites and those the like with high authority and stuff, CNN, Forbes, etc. They're doing all of those best of product type posts, and Google is ranking them. And what that does is it pushes out the little guys, you, me, whatever. anyone who doesn't have a high authority site, it's kind of pushed out. And so affiliates are encouraged to go elsewhere, and then product owners are like, all right, so now their affiliate stuff goes away. Maybe they get some from the CNNs and the like, but that goes away. And then now they're forced to actually buy ads. So that's why Google wants to get away from affiliates. That's why they actively target them. And I expect that will continue. I also think that backlinks and anchor text for backlinks are going to get more defined. You are going to absolutely have to need those. And they're going to tighten up the ratchet on that, and probably increase the referring domain counts. Like I recommend 25 referring domains. They may increase it because as people adapt, they have to increase that threshold, right? So, and when you add the AI and how easy it is to make content, to me, just being a normal guy, if you look at a website and there's just 1,000 pages on it, and those 1,000 pages barely interlink to each other, and none of them have backlinks, then why should I index it? So, and that's the easiest way to filter out that stuff, in my opinion. So, crawl it, index it, check it. Got no backlinks, please get rid of it. 3 months and you're out. It's kind of where I think that's going to go. And I think, if anything, that 3 months even might get shorter as the volume of content gets bigger. Boris, have you seen signs of good PPC competing with your own site and garner? Like, you can't rank in organic for particular keyword if you rank good in ads. No, I haven't seen that. I have seen where I was paying for a PPC campaign to a page. It was ranking good, and I wanted to double down on the PPC stuff. So I had PPC and the organic, and then I shut off the PPC, and my organic rankings went away and never came back. So I've seen that happen. It hasn't been a test that I've decided to duplicate, because that page never came back. I actually had to delete the page. You should get super chat activated so we can answer for you. I'll look into it, Jeremy. Appreciate it. Buy me some coffee. That'd be awesome. If you really want to help me, I mean, don't get me wrong, I am a greedy capitalist, and I love money. But if you really want to help me, just help me get the subscribers and the views up. 2,075. Yeah, 2,750 subscribers for as long as I've been doing this. It's kind of weak ass. And it's partially my fault because I don't promote this outside of really other people's shows and stuff. But I need to change that. But if you do want to help me, a lot of you guys have really great reaches, etc. And people would love to hear what you're listening to. And if you appreciate listening to me and like listening to me, then share the channel. If anything, just let them know I'm on live, and they can come and make fun of me during the week every Monday. What else? What else is going on? I don't think anything happening this week. Oh, I guess test ideas. If you guys want to try these out for me, kind of verification and stuff. If you want to test it out officially and do a write up, you can reach out to me, and I'll give you the Google Doc. It's a template, and you can write it up. And then you submit it to me, and then we'll pay you $100 for doing the test. Otherwise, you want to just double check some things, that'd be really cool. So one cool one for you is get yourself a Midjourney account. And technically, you don't have to have a Midjourney account, but I mean, I'm getting images from these guys for free, essentially. So getting a Midjourney account, paying I think it's like $20 or whatever, for access to it seems pretty reasonable. Pay for the resources, make it better, and then all these guys that can think of some kick-ass prompts to get these beautiful images out of Midjourney are encouraged, and everything goes round and round. So what you do is find every day they have what's in Midjourney called the daily theme. Like right now it's hairspray. And then you create just get some time. Like you don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this, but get some time and you create a board inside of Pinterest for hairspray. And go in and to Midjourney, pick out 10, 20, 50, whatever you want, images for your board for Midjourney and upload them and attach that to your website as the source URL. In doing that, you're going to build some backlinks in it, etc. You can be even more. You can get some traffic from doing this by putting that into your content. Like, so they click it and they go and it's hairspray and you're talking about hairspray in some respect or whatever, right? But you get that Pinterest traffic too, which is actually pretty cool. Comes pretty good. So try that out. I think you'll like that. And let me know how that goes. That'll be a good test for you guys. There's other ones too. There's Leonardo, and then the Adobe one, Firefly. You can get from those two. All right. Okay. I'm gonna take a break. Just a second. I'll be right back. Yay, there we go. All right, so Boris, how do you make your backlinks to get indexed? Does it actually help? I've already said this over and over again. I don't worry about indexing for my backlinks. All I care about is that Google crawl it. Google know that backlink is there, and if they know that it's there, the implication is going to give you credit or not. Regardless if it's indexed or not. We got testing in SIA, completely de-indexed, manually removed PPN links, sites, domains, build backlinks on them. Google crawls it. Google will rank the page that the backlinks are linking to. So I don't try to index all my backlinks. Just want them to be found. I want Google to find them. I don't care if you find them. I want Google to find them. Euromaster. Can you quickly explain multi-location local service website structure that you use? Quickly? No. Multi-locations is one page for each location. Typically, you offer the same services at each of those locations. So your page's only distinct content portion would be the identification of that spot, the city mentioned or whatever. And the rest of your content would essentially be the same. A white hat who's never done local SEO will tell you, oh, you're doing duplicate content and you need to remake content for each page and it's got to be 100% unique. That's entirely complete false bullshit. Just make sure that each page specifically addresses that new location and point the actual city that location is in, or neighborhood or whatever. And then that's how you build those out. Microsoft Designer. I haven't heard of that one. Is that another image thing? Microsoft Designer. I know they had the Bing studying design in the Flash. Microsoft Designer. Studying designs made in lightning fast with AI. Oh, that's got words on it. Describe a design you'd like to try. I'll show you guys. This is what it is. Microsoft Designer. How do you make, let's go YouTube thumbnail. That for SEO this week, episode 37, that is talking about how to get traffic from Pinterest. Oh, come on. Hold on. Stop the share so you can't. The trunk monkeys that are trying my emails because I'm dumbass and show my emails on the show all the time. All right, here we go. We're back in there now. YouTube thumbnail, blah, 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 add image, generate. Look at that. The other ones won't add images or text to it, right? YouTube thumbnail. Use modern font with imagery associated with computer science and technology. Spell imagery right. Generate. Check that out. Here's a good one. Let's see if this one does it. Info graphic that outlines the top factors. I'll do top 10 factors of search engine optimization using imagery reflective of marketing and computer science. No, let's do business intelligence data visualizations. Generate. See if it does this. Oh, that's interesting. You guys can't see this, but let me see. Open. There you go. It's a little better for you, hopefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10 images and a title. So still, it's not a horrible image, right? And it's got words on it. You can't get the other tools to make words. So that's kind of, I like that. That's interesting. So thank you for the heads up on that. Now I'll be lost in there for the rest of the day. Let's see, Emily. Would doing tiered link building to your URL that is 301 redirecting to the money cage work to move the needle? Yep. Assuming that the anchor text is right, you could totally do that still. T-Bro 12. Hi, Clint. Love the show and thanks for everything you share. You're welcome. If you have a relatively new website with low authority and a competitive niche, how would you build the first 100 backlinks? I would do the whole social fortress thing. So in the beginning, what you want to do is establish the entity, right? So you call it social fortress or whatever fancy name you want to give it. At the end of the day, what you're looking to build is the primary brand out. So let's say I have a website called earth.com, and so it's brand new. I got to establish Earth as a business. And first thing you do is make the website. Second thing you do is build a Facebook page, Facebook account for the brand, and then a Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok is now on that list too, as sites that and Reddit's. Do those, and now you have your first set of backlinks, and you're establishing your brand. If you can get it, and you have a source where you know how to do it yourself, do the Wikidata, and ultimately try a Wikipedia. Wikipedia, you're going to be less likely to get, but Wikidata, more likely. And Kyle Roof recently shared that he doesn't try to get into Wikidata United States. He'll go Wikidata another country and get into theirs because it's easier than the United States one, which makes sense. If you're in Wikidata England, for example, and then it's easier, you can cite that when you go create your Wikidata in the United States or Wikipedia United States, etc. So, right. So that makes sense. So there's your first set of backlinks. And then you want to get your, go to noam.com and you can put in your brand into Noam, N-O-W, yeah, K-N-O-W-E-M, Noam.com, and then put your brand in there and you'll get all a list of these web 2s and all this stuff that you can use your brand and collect that brand. There's 300 in there. Usually you don't need 300, like get 50 to 75. The top ones, don't get Blogspot, but you can get the rest of them. And now you establish your brand on those websites. And you can do hook up Zapier or IFTT to those when you're publishing your newer content, and it'll automatically syndicate all those things. And now you are an established brand. Next thing you can do is get just have a mailing address for your website. You use yours or whatever, it doesn't matter, and then get yourself an SEM Rush account and go into the local citations management and turn that on, and you get some more stuff. You get some citations that says you're a real business. If you're not doing local stuff, don't get the map, the Google map. You don't need it, unless you want to, but at the end of the day, you don't need it. And so now you're building and you're establishing your authority. You're establishing your entity and yourself as a business. Do some schemas and stuff and start getting associated. When you do a brand search, you've hit entity, you do a brand search, and only you show up, all your properties show up. Eventually a knowledge panel will pop in and out, but especially if you have your schema on there, and once it's pretty steady, then you're good to go and you're an established entity. And here's your first 100 backlinks. Emily, would you do tiered linking campaign to a press release to drive performance? Only the top 10 sites that are more known to actually stick. So you can look at those URLs and figure out which ones are APIs and which ones are going to get deleted in X amount of time, etc. And as you do enough PRs, you'll figure that out. And there'll be like 10, 15 really stupid good ones, and then I would boost those. Or you can do PR stacking if you're going to do a lot of PRs anyway. In your first PR, link to 3 pages on your website, your second PR, link to 1 page on your website and 2 of your other PRs, and then do that over and over again. That's PR stacking. That's simplistic version of it. You can probably do Bradley Benner has a course on PR stacking, I think, in his mastermind. But essentially, it's what I just told you. Your first one, you link to your website, and the second one, you link to the last PR, couple of the last PRs. Third one, you link to a couple of the second PRs, and just compound that and go and go and go and go. And the idea is that you're stacking the power of those PRs. That's much cheaper if you have a direct source to syndicators, though. For sure. I think Terry Samuels uses Quantum. I don't know what it's called now. I haven't tried it out yet. I reached out to that guy that owns Quantum, and from what I understand, he owns the websites that syndicate the news that you have. And then he syndicates to someone else, another service. And then his back end allows for changes to the PRs, if I'm not mistaken. But at the end of the day, what I had 10 PR websites, and I wanted content on them, and because I was going to build them up and build AdSense revenue out of them, and just let people, they syndicate, let these other services syndicate to them and build that content out. And I asked him about it, and he just kind of fucking blew me off. No, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. And then fucking ghosted me after that. So fuck that guy. Let's see. Adam, how are you finding the any cool features, tricks with this new software? I got it on my Mac, Adam, and I do so much stuff on this damn computer that I don't want to. Every time I turn it on, I'm like, oh, I got to do this. I want to play with this, and then I remember all the horrors of SEO autopilot takes over, and it takes over your copy pasting and all that stuff, and so I reached out to Elias. So I'm transfer my license over to my VPSs, so I don't have to worry about that. Christoph said it doesn't do that anymore, but too chicken to try it when I know I got all this work to do. I don't want to go set up a whole Neo campaign and then end up having to remove it because it's on my Mac. But that said, I'm getting the Mac Studio, the maxed out one with the M2 Max. I'll put Parallels on it, and then it'll be running in the background, and hopefully that issue I don't have to worry about with the copy pasting taking over. And if that's the case, I can run that in Parallels on my Mac Studio, and then I'm going to get Proxidize, and then I'll be able to bring GSA and everything into my Mac Studio. Which should be perfect because I can save a couple $100. It's not a lot, but save a couple $100 on a VPS, on one at least. I got the other one for my staff. Let's see. How do you determine a relevant site to get a backlink from? I don't. So there's a lot of bullshit about, and I say bullshit because if you have to get backlinks from websites that are relevant to you. So if you think about that statement, if you're a plumber, then technically you should only get backlinks from other plumbers, right? Maybe contractors or maybe some home, was it rehabbers? What are they called? Remodelers and that kind of, those kind of websites are the only ones technically that should link to you under the idea of relevant backlinks. Problem I have with that is that it's completely not fucking reasonable, especially if, pardon the language, you're in markets like I used to be, adult markets, for example. Guess what? There's not a whole lot of people that are going to link to your relevant adult website. And it's the same with products. I mean, you reach out to someone and go, hey, you want to share my product page? And they'll just laugh at you, ignore you. Anyone's done an outreach for products pages knows that that's just pain in the ass. It's easier to get backlinks to listicles and best of type things, etc. And those pages link to your products. So the idea of relevant site is bullshit. The other is testing that shows that anchor text is really where it matters. And I've given that in presentations, etc. But so when I look at places to make backlinks, I'm looking at the ability to put my keyword in the title and then the ability of the keyword being in the URL. And if my software or my PBNs or the service that I'm doing has a system in place that takes, for example, SEO Nitro, you plug in a title and your title becomes your URL. So that's easy. It's taken care of. You can do that on PBNs, etc. Own domains you own, whatever. Right. So that's what I'm looking for. And it's a process. It's an idea or a concept called reverse sink or swim. It's thought up by Greg Morrison. Essentially, if you're reviewing a whole list of 1,000 URLs and places you could get backlinks from, go and look and see, is the keyword in the title and is the keyword in the URL? If the answer is yes to both of those, then those are good linking opportunities for you. That's the extent of relevance for me. And then in the anchor text, that's where the relevance is. Google's not going to read. I honestly don't think that Google would spend the amount of money it would take and resources to beyond the classifications of title and ranking, whatever, right? And then store all that and then analyze your backlinks based off of that, et cetera, et cetera. It's looking at, oh, here's this backlink. What is the anchor in the reference to that page saying that page is about? Oh, if the page is about roofing. And that's it. And it doesn't care if it's on a roofing website, a plumber website, or a website about the collapse of a roof somewhere. You know what I mean? As long as it's looking at the the title and URL and then the anchor text, in my opinion. So that's how I did it. Those have already been done, Nairobi. They're all in the SIA's backend. All those test results are back there. I think we're pushing on 700 tests now. I know there are a couple of members that have some tests that they want to publish. I just got to give them the Google Doc template. And once they have that, they're off to the races. We publish some more. I have a couple that I'm still running. It's just taking forever. And then we'll be busting over 700 tests in SIA here soon. NZ, does it work on your MacBook? Yeah, it works on the MacBook. It's in, they've gotten it in, it's works on Mac and PC now. I don't know what they wrote it in. It seems familiar, like Air, I would think. But it works on Mac now. And my M1, yep. Emily, do you have any courses on SEO Autopilot? Not yet. Want to purchase it. Here's the problem, Emily, with that thinking is you should have a way to use a tool that works for you. Don't necessarily wait for someone like me to give you a process. And here's why. When I do a course on SEO Autopilot or Neo, SEO Neo is the new version. When I do that, I'm not going to give you a strategy. Oh, you should build this campaign and use this diagram and use these anchor texts. I'm not going to do that. And the reason is there'll be, this is a little bit of arrogance, but there'll be so many people using that now. That one template, that one diagram, using that anchor text strategy, etc., that it becomes kind of a norm of users of the tool, and then it just stops working for them. And then here's how that goes. Oh, it didn't work for me. That software sucks, or Clint's method sucks because that didn't work for me. Blah 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 blah. And it's happens to everybody. Especially course creators, and they give out an idea or a system or whatever, right? And it'll even happen to you. You go on and create a YouTube video talking about something cool, and then everyone starts doing it, and then guess what happens? It just stops working. And so I always tell people, if you're going to use a tool, link building tool, whatever, you can help people out by showing them how to use the tool, but don't give them this roadmap. Because at the end of the day, you're not helping them, and you're just doing yourself a disservice, and you have to deal with this didn't work mentality that goes on in our space. And it's just my teaching style that I would much prefer to give you. I'll give you the fundamentals of something, how I think about doing something. I'll even show you how I do it, but I'm not going to give you a step-by-step guide to go and do that for yourself. It's the challenge of SEO and the let's put it this way. You would benefit more understanding why I'm thinking or doing something, right? And then being able to take that understanding of why I did it, think the same way, and then go, hey, this does apply to me, and this part does not, and mix and match and build your own system. And you find out you're actually much better SEO in time, way better than I am, by just thinking up new ways in these systems and doing things for yourself versus relying on someone like me, Matt Diggity or whatever, to come up with this latest and greatest. Makes sense. You're already doing the latest and greatest, so you can come to a point where you can um, review courses that people make, etc., and go, yeah, I get that. Um, like all the topical authority courses that are out, and topical map courses that are out. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't get a lot out of it, but it did tie some pieces together for me, etc. Right, and that comes with being able to problem solve these things yourself, etc. So, well, I appreciate the trust and understanding that you want to get a tool and you would wait till I try it out. I would caution you to not do that. If you know you need a link building tool and you want to try one of the easier ones, then SEO Neo, SEO Autopilot, Ranker X. I mean, those are pretty easy. And just go get them and point them at things and see what happens. And they don't have to be your website. I mean, you don't want to deliberately go crash someone's website, but it doesn't have to be your website. You can go find someone's website on page 30 of the search results and then build a campaign and see if it moves up and figure out your whole process. And if it's gets a page from page 30 to position 10 with what you're doing, just doing the backlinks. Imagine when you combine that with your on-page stuff, and you have this winning recipe that you only have that you can leverage until it doesn't work anymore, right? So try that out, Emily. Let's see. Do you also incorporate sink or swim method with Greg from Web2? Yep. Especially on Neo, you can do it with the titles. That's where the URL is coming from for most of those. So you can do it with titles, and then Web2s, if you're doing like WordPress.com or whatever, and you have those, you can certainly do those with those too. Don't get greedy with those Web2s though. Like, don't point any backlinks from Blogspot to your website. But like a WordPress.com or Tumblr or stuff like that, you can definitely knock those out using that reverse sink or swim. So anywhere that you can control the title and the URL is money, in my opinion. All right, folks, that was an hour on the YouTubes. If you want to join us for the after show, join SIA. You can join the SIA AMA at seointel.com/join. Sign up there. Rockstars is coming. If you want to check out my Facebook post, I did it, let's say, a week or so ago. There's a form on there that Dory Friend is using if you want to actually speak. You all have some knowledge of something that other people just don't know, and you are a subject matter expert, whether you think so or not, based off of, there's people below you that are just coming into this space, and you could be new. So she wants to hear from new people, etc. I don't have any involvement in it. I was on her mailing list, and I got that message, and everyone in our mailing list got it, and so I shared it, and since I go to it, I would like to hear from some new people and meet some new people, etc. So if you want to speak, go into my Facebook post. There's a form in there. Fill that out and apply, and maybe she'll bring you up. It'd be awesome. And other than that, hit the thumbs up, subscribe button, share the videos. I am going to do some research and stuff into promoting this channel. I'm gonna get it up. I think I can get more subscribers. I think we can do some more stuff with it. I may even start using TikTok. Oh, I know. Do some TikTok stuff and then try to push people over here to boost it up, and then probably some ad stuff just to get everything going and build the subscriber list up. And we can reach more people and have some more fun and get some more questions. We get some more questions, we can have more content and help more people. And all, it's kind of like the circle of life. And now you have that in your head.